Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ike Jr., and once again, you are welcome to another episode of Board Talks. If today is your first time, I'm excited you are here. Kindly subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for prompt and notifications anytime I drop a video. Well, today we are going back to the conversation board again, and today, if you look carefully on the board, I have Daddy Lumba written boldly on this particular conversation board. Now, I'm about to dive into certain issues surrounding Daddy Lumba, and let me make it clear. I said Daddy Lumba for some time now, not over 3 months. Ebusuafo Erce and 9 and Abasa on social media. The family have been going to court to and fro, and all the tensions and issues are revolving around who is supposed to do the widowhood right. Nipa ewose oyekuna. Now tension no revolves around Akosua Sewa and Odobroni. Akosua Sewa happens to be the first wife of Daddy Lumba, and Odobroni happens to be the second wife. In quote, because Abusuafoni bi ejitum se Odobroni na warrior to Daddy Lumba no enya adia esheda eye legal. Enya adia omo sheda ejitum. So the whole tension has risen to the top, to the extent that it's really distorting whatever funeral arrangement they need to do for the legend to rest peacefully. Now, I'm taking you basically into tensions that are coming out. The first tension has to do with Akosua Sewa and Odobroni. Omona friction no surrounding Omo. Now, friction no revolves around the mechanic power so ye kuna anase widowhood right. Moving from Akosua Sewa and Odobroni, the next set of people who are also involved in some kind of friction has to do with Papa Shee and Abusuapanin. Now, this Abusuapanin has gotten a new name. It's called Tupac. Abusuapanin Tupac. Now, erce because edini also no ankasa wajiatum. Ocean or swag, what I say, Abusuapanin Tupac. That's the name. And Papa Shee. So moving away from Akosua Sewa and Odobroni, omoye ekunafuo no. The next set of people are almost friction akraba omuntem Papa Shee and Abusuapanin Tupac. Now, to earlier today, they went on UTV, and personally, I have my own reservations. First of all, I feel, sir, the whole conversation on national television is not something that is really needed, because we all know how the tensions have been with regards to Abusuano, moving to court in and out, and Sebi and Shada Mwada the Lumba Din, because this man is a legend, someone who has actually paid his dues both in Ghana and outside Ghana. So for his issues to be public like this, personally, I feel it's not really helpful. Now, the conversations that were really highlighted publicly on TV is very sensitive to the extent say baby omo bob free nipa omo jiske free omo nche nyina aba outside. And to me, I feel it's not something that is really needed. Some of these things should be private, and for the family to wash their dirty linen in the public is not something that is really helpful. The point is coming on national television the right way to solve an ongoing family issues? Obviously no, because if you look at the conflict resolution steps, the issue now called Menshia is still in the process of solution. The courts, and to me, some of the highest institutions that can solve conflict resolution is the palace. So Menshia is on the right track to solve the issues that is ongoing. Secondly, court. Court is a big institution to solve this issue. For this institution to be at work, to make sure this conflict is being solved, I feel is the right step. But for the conflict resolution to jump into the media space, for it to be on a national television, is what I feel is wrong. It's what I feel is wrong. And where they are, I see we issue about TV, so I'm on match in a and in the heart of this conversation, Papa Shee, I'm who say, or no, he is not stepping down on Jin Tumse on your family member.
Many Nipana will chance called Fusu. On your blood, Tiemi, or be farm is sending you, Tiemi, it's a your blood, Tiemi, on your blood, Tiemi, young Kobe senior. Lumba motin and count Ghana. If you mean to do this job, much it is going to be any chance. May you more than Busiani. Oh, yes.
Now, it's one thing that most people, the panelists, really highlighted. Say, Papa Shee, who you be a Busiani? Fine. When it comes to loyalty test, everybody can attest to the fact that Papa Shee has passed the loyalty test. He has been there for Daddy Lumba. Yes, on our sharing properties. So on, he has been there for him all these years. But the point is, can a family really accept a loyal friend to the status of becoming a family member? How did I bet me see her? How bet me judge them say or representing some part of the family against the funeral of his closest friend?
Me who say, de me who say, Papa Shee wa form a gang. Omo mi say, de ye be ye bia no ombese no. Me who de Lumba de ayom. Na ente sa pa dia. Yes. What de ku no say autopsy. Omama koye. Wo se ne ma. Wo se ne ma na kwagina otobo. O kasa mo bi ngabi. Wo se ne ma na kwagina ho emo ye. How do you want gabi? Ne ma no. Enso ebi wo 30 years. Ba ko ye doctor, ba ko ye engineer na say dey.
I feel this has become a sort of distraction in quote because Osha UTV conversation of course now most of the people were against Papa Shee's stance because he said or you're a family representative of the first wife who is Akosia Sewa only any representative. Now if you look at Papa Shee's demand, Papa Shee say the family that is Akosia Sewa's side no, they don't really accept the court verdicts nearby.
Mini akoso abrempoma se ye na maso 13 nti na ode come nhia no ti make saba mini akoso abrempoma wana Charles kwadwo fosu Daddy Lumba di na chi ne ofa Charles ofa ne ofa ya apoku o se ye no maso ne ma me comfort Jamfi on di amese achi o se ye no maso ne nana e kan say ne nana efi aduma o se ye no maso o 84 years me se me bobo a melanom me se me bobo a then Derek no me se me bobo a Pastor Samenom ohima no tie me ka so macho abusuafo no omu nyina no eye Lumba no ni twotwo mutwo bi tie abusua bia ye baako but esi dua bia asiwa e bia we menu akum
because issue na court Emma the court has given a verdict said both ladies or both women should do the widowhood right, and Papa Shee is saying that Akosia Sewa and the other family members who are on her part doesn't really accept that fact say the widowhood right should be done by the two. Because according to her, Akosia Sewa is the only legal wife.
Court nature say, Piano, Odobroni, or yere. Madam Akosia Sewa, your yere. Or so yere. Then so a banny kuna yo asema, Yabusuapanin, and no Yabusuapanin ni or they or bet said ni obey yukuna. But in this situation, no, Yabusuapanin mpa. Or in law depending on relationship or no.
And there comes the Abusuapanin Tupac is also saying that for him, he's not on anybody's part. On Ekononkwadia, he is standing for peace. Because whether you like it or not, although Bruni has a life with Daddy Lumba, she has children with Daddy Lumba. And if you go deep inside whatever that has happened, there's a portion that really accepts Odo Bruni as a wife to Daddy Lumba. Inti Ekononkwa, they are the two of them should rather do the widowhood right. Into the only problem. Into Washed date, which is the 13th of December. And there comes Papa Shee again. Papa Shee is saying, say, Akosia Sewa, any other representatives, no, Omunjin too.
Mini Akosia Brempoma, see a year maso 13. Nti no de come nhia. Ti make saba. Mini Akosia Brempoma, wana Charles kwadwo fosu Daddy Lumba di na chi. Ne ofa Charles ofa ne ofa ya apoku. O se ye no maso. Ne ma me comfort Jamfi on di amese achi. O se ye no maso.
My question is, what does Papa Shee stand to get out of this whole brouhaha? Yeah, call yeah, chin up and down. What is Papa Shee's main interest? Because Sir Papa Shee is someone who really values Daddy Lumba's impact. He has to make sure, say, the conflicts here and there to the point, say, Oma National Television to come and discuss this man's marital issues, who has the right to do whatever. I feel is to the extreme. It's to the extreme. Now, Abusuapanin is also insisting that the proposed date, which is 13 December, has to stand. And there comes Papa Shee again. Let's go for an appeal. This is my review. The ABCS here, check your kosro, your bafom, the ABCS here. Court na shese yenye a year 13th of December. Papa Shee together with Akosua Sewa, Odobroni together with the Abusuapanin. This is the time they need to smoke a peace pipe. They need to make sure that whatever that has to be done is done. Akosua Sewa is a wife in her own way. Odobroni is a wife in her own way. Papa Shee, a representative of Akosua Sewa, Abusuapanin has made it clear, say, or no representative Obia, she's in the collective interest of everybody. Now, say 13 December na yashe say yenye year. There has to be a peace and a consensus. Na yenye year, no, to make sure that the Lumba is given a befitting funeral. Back and forth, yeah, China, yeah, de bano, kra. And this issue coming to the media space is to the extreme for me. For us to discuss that the Lumba's family issues, Bosan Yakoboye, Dioma Yesika, send a year's carefree account to move, maybe a discard to Bosuamu interest. It's to the extreme. It's to the extreme. So the family members, this is what Papa Shee and Abusuapanin is saying. Abusuapanin is not standing for peace. Two no enye kuna. Papa Shee is saying they are going for appeal. And the appeal they are going for no, Akosua Sewa is the legal wife. No, no, kwana was oye kuna no. And this is the latest update about that the Lumba's issue with regards to who is doing the widowhood right. Nipa also oye kuna. We embwa. Papa Shee Abusuapanin Tupac, and everybody who is involved in this. Let's make sure that peace reigns and the right thing is done to make sure that the Lumba's legacy is protected. My name is Ike Jr. and this is Board Talks. See you next time.